Everybody, my name is Ed. Okay, it's been a while since I've done a new comic book haul video. Just been busy with real life and everyday work and stuff like that. So I'll show you some of the comic books that I bought over the last couple of weeks. I really haven't been able to read too many of them, but hopefully this weekend I'll be able to catch up. And I also wanted to talk about something else that's been going on in comics. So hopefully this video won't be too long, but we'll jump into it. So today we're gonna do Jaeger shots. Yeah. So cheers. All right. Okay. So I got Astro City 44, Bug #1 by Mike Allred. I'm looking forward to reading this. It looks like Mike and his wife have gone from doing Kirby creations over at Marvel, where they were doing the Silver Surfer. Now they're moving over to uh, Kirby characters from DC. So okay, we'll see how this works. Green Arrow #22. I like this cover. Mike Grell. I don't know how I feel about the interior art. It's not bad or anything like that, but it's just kind of, I don't know. It seems kind of, even though the coloring looks really nice and everything, it just looks kind of, it seems kind of static to me, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Deathstroke #19. It's a crossover with the Teen Titans, or no, the Titans. Um, I guess this storyline revisits the Judas contract story from back in the 80s, I think. I don't know. I do not read the Titans, so, whatever. Wildstorm #4. This is a Jim Lee cover. Invincible Iron Man #7. I did read this. I thought it was okay. Luke Cage #1. I did read this. I thought it was all right. Interesting setup. I guess basically the story is the guy that helped give Luke his superpowers has died, and people close to him, or well, he's died, and the official story is that it's been a suicide, and people close to him think it wasn't a suicide, and they think it's tied into the experiments that he was doing on Luke and other people, and so on and so forth. An old character shows up that I had totally forgotten about. But it's really interesting setup. I'm sure I'm not sure how long this comic's gonna go, but I think if nothing else, you'll get a pretty fun. It seems like it'll be a fun setup for, or eh, a fun murder mystery type thing going on. So, all right. David Walker, I really liked his version of Shaft. So, and this is, Luke Cage is obviously was inspired by these black exploitation movies from the '70s and whatnot, and so I think this is a good fit for him. I did like the Power Man Iron Fist series he did for Marvel a year ago or so, until it got mixed up with all that Civil War nonsense. But anyway, um, Black Hammer #9. Shaolan Cowboy #1. I saw Sleepy Reader talking about this, so when I saw it in the store today, I thought I'd get it. I got this, and I got #2, Die Kitty Die, Hollywood or Bust, uh, drawn by Dan Parent, um, your former Archie Comics artist. World War Tank Girl #2, American Gods #3. I have not seen the TV show yet, but I'll probably catch up on it one of these days. Black Cloud #2. I did read this. I do enjoy this comic so far. And then I'm trying to catch up on this comic, Niobe. This is #4. #3. #2. And I'll probably have to just order #1 online or something. And then I got Girl Scouts Magic Socks #1. This is from Image. I actually have some of the some random issues of Girl Scouts from like the late '90s, early 2000s, from Oni Press. I actually saw Tom from Comic Book Look talking about this comic, so I had to get it. Okay. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the whole kind of diversity in comics subject has come up again, and really, it's really not diversity in comics so much as if it's diversity at Marvel, because that's all anybody really cares about for whatever reason. There was the, um, there was the press release from the VP of Sales at Marvel like a few weeks ago. An article in the Atlantic just showed up talking about how Marvel sales are down, I think I might try to put a link to that one because I think that article is actually very interesting. They really talk about things that, if you've been collecting comics for a while, especially mainstream comics, you're aware of. Talk about the constant reboots, the constant renumbering, the constant events, the whole thing where you have to read multiple titles just to get one story. The high prices, they mentioned, characters being changed. Some of those characters, some of the new characters catch on. Some of them don't, you know what I mean? But but I just think it's interesting that there. And this is just my opinion. I'm not putting anybody down. Everybody has a right to their own opinion and stuff like that. So but I just think it's interesting that there's this narrative out there that's like, Marvel was this great comic book company that had these great characters and all these great stories, and everything was fine, and they were on top because they were so great, and we had our great characters who never changed in anything until like a couple of years ago when the social justice warriors took over and went full retard. You never go full retard. They went full retard. They went full social justice on us. And DC Comics is great because they went back to the classics and they're not doing any of this social justice thing. And it's like, I don't know, my personal feeling is I really don't think that's accurate. It's just like, uh, um, I don't know, it's like this, a year ago, I found myself like defending DC comic books a lot because people who are loving Marvel and thinking Marvel is the greatest thing ever was like, oh yeah, look at Marvel, they're breaking all this new ground and they're so progressive, and DC is stuck in the past, and Marvel's great and DC's awesome. And now you have other people who are a bit disgruntled are like, Marvel is sucks. They've changed everything. They're trying to be progressive, and DC is awesome because they just have the classic characters. They're not changing anything, and I just keep thinking, that's not 100% accurate. You know what I mean? And I don't want to cape for DC. I don't want to make it a DC versus Marvel thing, but it's just like, even with this rebirth thing, with their supposed concentrating on their core characters and all that, even in the rebirth universe, you still have the the minority legacy characters, the female spin-off characters. You still have Gerald Wade's Young Animal line, which is what, a couple of new characters and revamps of like old fringe characters. Now they're doing their Dark Matter thing, which is more new-ish characters and whatnot. So I don't know where people get this idea that somehow we're going back to the Silver Age that everybody loved or whatever. I mean, it's a weird thing anyway because people forget there have been times when these classic characters did not sell, both Marvel and DC. People forget that there was a period where, I mean, we have Kyle Rayner because people got bored with Hal Jordan. Wally West took over for Barry because nobody was buying Barry's comic, and in all this, and Superman dying and being replaced, Batman has died and been replaced, Wonder Woman's died, Wonder Woman's been replaced. Uh, it's the same thing for the Marvel characters. I'm not going to go on and on and on about it, but every one of these characters, um, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, have been replaced more than once. I don't get this whole ideal of we have our precious icon characters who are oh so untainted, and these outside people have come in and changed them, and I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I don't know. Have people forgotten about the '90s? Have you forgotten when they gave Captain America armor? Well, I actually wasn't reading it, but I'm aware of it. Or how about Sue Storm or Sue Richards walking around half naked in the Fantastic Four were running around with giant sci-fi guns? I mean, you know, these characters have been around for decades. Marvel and DC will change them however they see fit. Some of their things will work, some of them won't. Some of it's about chasing trends. Some of it's about whatever. Whatever. And the thing is, just to be reasonable for a moment. I mean, with comics, especially mainstream comics, I mean, yeah, I think maybe in the case of Marvel, some of the business practices maybe have started catching up with them. I mean, like I said, the double shipping, the high prices, the events, um, bad continuity, substandard art, substandard stories, and then somebody who maybe has been reading Iron Man for a while, maybe they say, oh man, there's this, and now Tony Stark's not even Iron Man anymore. Here's where I jump off. So I totally get that. I totally understand that, but you know, uh, I mean, but yeah, I get it. I get why you know, people might be dissatisfied and why people might be, jumping off. I mean, even beyond whatever so-called changes that Marvel's doing. I mean, who knows how long this format is going to, last? Uh, you know, Comics cost more and more. You're paying $5 for an entertainment product that takes like 10 minutes to read. Who knows how long this format is sustainable? You know what I mean? It's a difficult thing. The whole thing. It's such an old media, old world model. I'm not so sure how long that's going to last. I mean, I know there's a whole thing with the retailers and things like that. Marvel and DC don't divulge the actual sales figures they get from digital, but both companies have said, yeah, there's things that don't sell well at all in print. They more than make up for in digital sales and things like that. And I know Marvel and DC kind of don't want to piss off those retailers, especially Marvel, because Marvel has its thing with and somebody can probably speak to this, with non-returnables, So they've made their money. If Marvel gets somebody to buy Scarlet Witch #1 with 5 variants, incentives, or whatever, they've made their money. Whether you or I buy the comic book or not, they've made it, and the retailers are just stuck. But I don't know. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Uh, I. you know what? We're gonna leave it at that. You know, I think I had a lot. I was gonna say some other stuff about the so-called diversity issue about Marvel and DC and indie comics and stuff like that. But maybe we'll save that for another video or whatever. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video. You guys have a good day.